this a great game or what? I'm Jeff Kurkjian with the Hall of Famer, my dad, Tim Kurkjian, and we are officially into the off season. And Dad, a lot of people have been messaging us and reaching out to us saying, okay, what happens now that the season is over? What happens to is this a great game or what? And we wanted to hop on not only to give you updates, but also let you know that we are going to go to every other week in the off season, starting with this week's episode. So we're not going anywhere. We're just giving ourselves a little bit of a break during the off season to spend some time with the family every other week, including 2 weeks from now. We're going to be talking about a movie that my dad is in. A movie.
Yeah,
You're an actor.
Jeff, let's be clear, okay? It's a movie called Rally Caps. It's really cool. And when you say that I'm in it, I'm playing myself. I taped at Camden Yard, Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and I was on camera for like 10 seconds, okay? So let's not get into any sort of acting situation here because we've been over this from Brockmire, how terrible an actor I am. And I have no interest in doing this, but the movie was great. And we're going to be talking to Jody, who was the brilliant woman behind this movie. And it's going to be really fun when we go over this in a couple of weeks.
So I'm really looking forward to that, Dad. And also we have another surprise during this offseason with our friends at Game Changer that we absolutely love when it comes to coaching baseball, not only at the major league level, but all the way down to those little league level as well. So we're really excited for that episode coming this offseason as well.
And Jeff, I'm most excited for our December 10th episode, which happens to be my 68th birthday. And it's a Tuesday, and we drop every other Tuesday. But that Tuesday, we're going to have a compilation of all the interviews that we did this year. And that was the highlight of beyond working with you, Jeff. The highlight was all the people that we got to talk to and the number of people that made us laugh. We made them laugh, the things we learned. And so we're going to have a compilation of every guest that we had, and we're going to take the best of each. It's going to run at least an hour, but that was my favorite part, was the people that we had on, whether it was Cal Ripken or Johnny Bench or Jim Palmer or Tito Francona or Steve Russian. We had so much fun doing the interviews, and this is what we want people to hear on December 10th, our best of episode from all of our interviews from 2024.
Yeah, really the guests drove this incredible year for us. And so we're going to kind of weave you in and out of each interview. It's going to be quick clips, like our best highlight web gems, if you will, of the best of that interview all the way through the entire 2024 podcast season for us. So that's on December 10th. Dad, that's going to be incredible. And then before we know it, our first regular season episode is going to, and I'm quoting you here, drop, as they say.
That's the verb that you told me to use. I've never used that before in my life.
But every time you say it, it loses a little bit of its effect because of your sarcasm. It drops, if you will.
Give me another word to use and I'll use it.
Drops is good, Dad.
All right,
you can just say it drops, though.
All right, got it.
And that's coming our way on March the 18th. So really, that's like only 4 months away from right now. That's going to be actually our preview for the season and the preview to the Tokyo series, which is set for March the 18th. How perfect, on a Tuesday. So that's kind of what the offseason is going to look like here on Is This a Great Game or What? We can't thank you all enough for being a part of our first season. Share this with somebody. Go back to your favorite episodes. Listen, you can watch on YouTube. Every interview we've ever done has been on YouTube, videoed with our guests making us laugh every single week. But Dad, I have a very special giveaway, okay? So we're going to do a giveaway on our social media right now, okay? So for the next 25 people to follow us on Instagram at Great Game or What, the next 25 people from midnight when this drops to the 25th person, they are going to get an exclusive signed baseball card from us, from Is This a Great Game or What? Hold on, let me get one. Hold on. It's one of these bad boys. and we're going to both sign it and send it out to the first 25 that follow us on Instagram, Great Game or What on Instagram. And then the next 25, you're going to get them too. Yeah, we'll do 50. Why not? I was going to say the next 25 get them, but they're not signed. But that just sounds like, oh, too bad. You're number 26. Like, we're not in it we're just in it so you can watch our videos on Instagram. We're going to be active all throughout the offseason. So call it the first 50 will get an exclusive signed baseball card. Is this a great game or what exclusive here with the Hall of Famer Tim Kurkjian and Jeff Kurkjian signed on this card for the first 50 that follow us at Great Game or What? Dad, how much of all of that did you understand? Are you caught up on Instagram?
Absolutely not, Jeff. Again, this is
Poor
why
Dad.
you're here. You're not just the co-host, you're the producer of the show, you're the director of the show, you're the technical advisor of the show. I am in charge of content and content only. And even though you're very much involved in the content, don't ask me to do anything else because I'm clear about this. I stink at this.
All right. And so before we go on this episode, this offseason episode of Is This a Great Game or What? We're going to take a listener question, messaged us on Instagram at Great Game or What? And it's from Mike. And he says, Tim, I know that there's always happenings in the offseason when it comes to signings and so much more, but I want to know what Tim Kurkjian does non-baseball related in the offseason. What does your day look like when there's no ball games?
All right. Well,
that's from Mike in St. Louis.
Well, thank you, Mike. First off, the day still starts the same way by going through all the baseball transactions, because if you get behind in the offseason, you will get lost. I make out a special roster book the minute the World Series ends because of all the players that are coming and leaving their teams. And if you don't keep, at least if I don't keep up, I'm going to forget where so-and-so is. What team is he on right now if I don't keep up on this? That's how much movement there is. As for what else do I do? Well, this is really my time to catch up on all the errands that I need to do that I didn't get done during the regular season or the postseason. So these are the little things that I put on my to-do list that I need to circle. And number one this year was I got my ears waxed, which Jeff, you
had it done?
I did. I didn't even tell you. I thought I would surprise you on the podcast. As you know, as I told you, we got our nose hairs waxed in Montana in September. I just out of the blue just went into a nail place and said, "Can you wax my ears?" And she said, "Sure, it'll take 2 minutes." It took 20 minutes, 10 minutes per ear. And I was so embarrassed. It was like Dumb and Dumber. There was hair all over the floor at the end. It was awful. As I've told you, the older I get, the more I look like Eddie Munster. It's terrible. And it was a little more painful than I expected it to be too. So I got through it. Everything's okay. It's not like, the 40-year-old virgin with Steve Carell getting things torn off his chest, but
Clarkson.
Yes. So that was the first thing I did. The second thing, I got my emissions test done on my car.
Excellent.
You know how annoying that can be,
Yeah.
but this is the kicker, Jeff. 7 minutes it took. 7 minutes from the time I turned the corner into the emissions test place. I've been in line there for an hour and a half. I turned the corner and 7 minutes later, I was driving out. It was like God came down and said, "Tim, I'm going to give you this one." All right. So I was in and out of the emissions test center in 7 minutes. That has to be a record.
That really has to be a record. And I mean, it has to be a record for how many consecutive of the same vehicle a man has bought with a Honda Accord. This is your third Honda Accord you've purchased. Am I wrong here?
That is correct. And we're well over 600,000 miles on those 3 cars. So that's okay. It works for me. Now, more important.
How many miles are on your current car?
175. So, yeah.
I feel like you just bought that one.
Well, 2017. I've only had it for 8 years, so it's not important. What is important, we had the big church bazaar. Your mother, Kathy Kurkjian, put the church bazaar together. It raised a ton of money, and not as important, but the house is cleaned up since we have finished the church bazaar. There were little figurines and all this stuff on every table in our house. Now I can walk through our house and it looks great. So that was really important. And I make a bunch of speeches in the off season, Jeff. I have an ALS speech coming up, and I just finished the speech. Well, it really wasn't a speech. It was like a basketball kickoff, luncheon. I mean, kind of not, it wasn't a lunch. It was kind of a dinner, not even dinner, pizza and
Wouldn't
beer.
it be more of a basketball like tip-off, not really a kickoff?
Yes, very good. Basketball. Yes, I did a basketball tip-off speech. Dan Harwood, the coach at Magruder High School, put it together. We had some speakers, and I got up there and talked about baseball and basketball, the only two things in the world I know even remotely. So that was a tremendous time. So I've had a very productive off season so far, and all is well.
Well, thank you, Dad, for the recap. And thank you, Mike from St. Louis, for the question. You can always ask us a question on our website, greatgameorwhat.com, or you can do like Mike did and message us on Instagram. Friendly reminder, first 50 followers from the minute this episode drops. First 50 are going to get autographed Is This a Great Game or What cards, very exclusive to our podcast. And so make sure to get on that Great Game or What. All right, Dad, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be talking with everybody listening about your movie and acting skills with the director of Rally Caps. Movie streaming now on Amazon Prime. They can check it out, or Amazon Prime Video. You can check it out. Dad, thank you for hopping on.
Well, thank you, Jeff, and can't wait for the off season. It's a lot of fun this time of year because of all the moves, and now that I've got my ears done, I'm ready to go.
Who's Juan Soto going to sign with? Just kidding. We'll get into that in 2 weeks. We'll get into that.
Right.
Tim Kurkjian's answer on that question in 2 weeks. Thank you for listening. As always, thank you for being a part of our family.